She had me and my brother.
Okay. Different fathers?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So how old was she when you were born? Are you the oldest, youngest?
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest, so you were the firstborn.
Okay,
so how old was she when you were born?
15 going on 16.
15.
It just, as I was growing up, my mom always told me, my mom always gave me a hint that my father wasn't my father, and she told me exactly who my father was. I was doing so much and running, and it just really dawned on me. It's the man that, my mom was underage when she consumed me. Anyone who'd have been older.
For decades, Jay-Z has been known as the man who always stays 10 steps ahead. A business genius, a cultural icon, a husband, a father, a billionaire who built an empire from nothing. But now, there's a story that just won't disappear. A story that refuses to stay buried no matter how much time passes. And at the center of it all is one name that keeps coming back like an echo from the past: Rymir Carter. People have asked the same question for years, and it's getting louder. If there's nothing to hide, why not just take the DNA test and end it? What nobody expected was that this situation would stretch on for more than a decade, turning into a legal maze filled with accusations, delays, and unanswered questions. Supporters of Rymir say he's simply a man searching for the truth about his identity. On the other side, Jay-Z's camp has consistently denied the claims and fought the case through legal channels. But here's the twist. The more resistance there is, the more suspicious some people become. This isn't just gossip anymore. It's a story about power, reputation, family, and the fear of what the truth might change.
I never asked for money. I don't do interviews just saying, hey, Jay-Z, give me your money, or I'm coming at the Jay-Z for his money. I never did that. I'm not that type of person. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over.
Long before the headlines and courtroom filings, this story was just a private claim made by a young man and his family. Rymir Carter has said for years that he believes Jay-Z is his biological father. According to his account, his late mother told him this when he was a child. Imagine growing up with that kind of statement hanging over your life, not knowing for sure, not having proof, just a name, one of the most famous names in music attached to your identity. That's heavy for anyone, let alone a kid. Rymir's side says they didn't come forward for fame, but for answers. They've described a long journey through the court system, trying to get a paternity test ordered. But each step, according to them, has been blocked or dismissed for technical reasons. They argue the legal process has been more complicated than they ever imagined. Meanwhile, Jay-Z has remained mostly silent publicly, with reports indicating his legal team has denied the allegations and challenged the claims in court. From his perspective, it may look like protecting himself from what he sees as false accusations.
Somewhere in September, he was in the parking lot with other people, near where he's at living now. And out of all the cars there, his was the only one shot up. So we believe that was a nexus or a connection, I believe, between the case and what's going on, because it was around the...
But here's where emotions get involved. Jay-Z isn't just any celebrity. He's someone who talks about legacy, fatherhood, growth, and breaking cycles. He's shared stories about his own father leaving when he was young and the pain that caused him. So when a man steps forward claiming to be his son, people naturally connect those dots. They wonder if history is repeating itself, or if this is a completely different situation being misunderstood. Either way, this became more than a legal issue. It turned into a public moral question in the eyes of many. As the years went by, the tension only grew. Filings, interviews, and online discussions kept the story alive. Rymir has spoken about feeling shut out and unheard, saying all he wants is a fair chance to prove his claim through DNA testing. Supporters argue that a simple test could settle everything in days. But according to reports about the legal battle, jurisdiction issues and procedural arguments have kept the test from happening. And that's where people start saying, but here's the twist, why fight so hard against something that could clear your name? On the other side, legal experts often point out that high-profile figures get targeted by false claims all the time, and lawyers are trained to challenge every detail before allowing anything that could open the door to more lawsuits. From that angle, this could just be a powerful man using the legal system exactly how it's designed, to protect himself.
In addition to that, we've had people come to my home in the past, driving on the grass. We have people knocking on the door at 4 o'clock in the morning. We've been through all of it, mostly around the filing time. So this is the bigger picture.
Still, the optics don't look simple. Every delay fuels more speculation. Every dismissal makes the internet louder. Social media turned this into a never-ending debate. Some see Rymir as a man bravely standing up against a giant. Others believe Jay-Z is being unfairly dragged into something that isn't true. The truth? Only science could answer it, yet science hasn't had its moment. What really keeps this story alive is the emotional weight behind it. Rymir isn't just talking about money, he's talking about identity, about knowing where you come from, about looking in the mirror and wondering whose face you're seeing. That hits people on a human level. We all understand the need to belong, to know our roots, and when that need meets celebrity power, it becomes a storm. What nobody expected was how long this would last. Over 10 years of back and forth, motions filed, cases dismissed, appeals discussed. Each time it seems close to moving forward, something shifts. To Rymir's supporters, it feels like a door keeps being slammed shut. To Jay-Z's defenders, it looks like the system doing its job. But in the middle of all that are real emotions, real frustration, and a cloud of what if that refuses to go away.
We want to try to make a difference with the Pro Se Act or the Legal Abuse Act, bringing new legislation and trying to sit down at the table with the lawmakers to make a difference. In addition to the fact, because, you know, like you said before, Mr. Carter might not never do anything, and I'm sure he probably won't, but it ain't about him. This is about the system allowing things to happen that were very agreed and put our lives at stake in some regards. So I just wanted to say that that's what another reason why we were still going to the criminal stuff for the second time. This time the prosecutor's office locally did get involved, but everything is slow moving and things are happening, and you know, it's corruption going on. It says in New Jersey that if the person who resists to take the test is presumed the father, that's what the law says. Here in New Jersey, anybody who don't want to do it and go away from doing it or prevents from doing it is presumed the father. So right now he's presumed the father. He's not even alleged.
Then there's the reputation factor. Jay-Z has carefully built an image of growth and accountability over the years. He's spoken openly about past mistakes, about becoming a better husband and father. That's why this situation feels so explosive. Because if the claim were ever proven true, it wouldn't just be a private matter. It would shake the public image of a man who represents evolution and responsibility. That possibility alone is enough to make people say, this is about more than just a test, it's about legacy. But again, it's important to remember, allegations are not proof. No court has declared Jay-Z to be Rymir's father. His side has not publicly accepted the claim. Everything sits in this gray area of legal filings and personal statements. Yet the longer the gray area exists, the darker it feels to those watching from the outside. Families get affected too. Think about Beyoncé and their children. They didn't choose this story, but when something like this trends online, it pulls everyone into the conversation. Fame makes private matters public, and public matters permanent. In the end, this story leaves people with a simple but powerful question. Is the fear here about the truth itself, or about the impact that truth could have? Because once a DNA result exists, there's no debate left, just reality. And reality for someone with a global brand can change everything overnight. Maybe that's why this situation feels so tense. It's not just about biology, it's about power versus persistence, silence versus determination, image versus identity. And here's the part that really sticks with people. This could all end with one moment, one test, one result, closure for one side, relief for the other. Yet here we are, years later, still asking the same question. That's why the story won't die. Not because of gossip, but because humans crave resolution. So the mystery lingers. Is this a case of a man wrongly accused, fighting to protect his name, or a son fighting to be acknowledged? Without that final piece of evidence, the world is left with opinions instead of answers. One thing is certain, though. This situation shows how complicated truth becomes when fame, money, and legacy are involved. Because sometimes the scariest thing isn't the lie, it's what happens after the truth comes out. And until that final chapter is written, people will keep watching, keep debating, and keep wondering what Jay-Z is really afraid of, the accusation or the answer.